Here we go. Another night. It's on and popping. Welcome to the Bridge Podcast. You already know what's going on because I told you earlier. So everything's gonna be transparent. It's my opinion, but at the same time, it's my show. So you already know what's going on. But the name of this topic, this episode right here, what is gonna be the topic tonight? It's gonna be who is raising your kids? Do you know who's raising your kids? Um, I know some people are not going to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Some people is going to say, "Well, how are you going to know how to tell us about how to raise our kids when you was gone 31 years and you weren't able to raise yours?" All right, let's just do this. Let's just keep it real. The real part and the real thing is, let's let me ask you this. Let's just cut through all the chase and let me just ask you this. If a teacher calls you and they ask you, "Ma'am, sir, whomever, your son has did so and so, so and so, so and so." Can you actually say, can you actually say, truthfully say, "No, that ain't my kid. I know my kid ain't did that." Nah, my kid ain't. Do you actually know your kid more than you think you do? Because when I look around and I ask myself, who is actually raising our kids? What I see is social media, the internet. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real talk right here. How many of you come home from work? You might pick your child up, whatever, your kids up, and when you get in the house, whether you feeding them or whatever, if you've already ate, like y'all just stopped at McDonald's, whatever it is that you got going on, um, where's everybody headed? You're gonna tell them, "Hey, look, you're gonna have to do some chores, or you got to clean your room, or do your homework, or whatever." Everybody is going to their separate rooms. They're going to their separate rooms. Everybody's gonna close their door, and you're not gonna see them no more unless you're gonna cook. You ain't gonna see them no more. That's the sad part about it. Social media is actually the one that's raising our kids. You don't even know. I'm gonna tell you something else that's sad about the situation, that we overlook the small details that's very important, because these small details dictate, the mindset of how your child or your kid is going to be, or how their thinking process. But let me just tell you this. When you have these devices, you got these devices, and you have your phones, and a lot of these devices, you don't even know how to work. You don't even know how to work these devices. So even if you try to say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna start parenting today because let me see your phone. Let me see what you got going on with your phone." Hell, you don't even know how to use it. So they can easily hide these things from you. So how you gonna know where it is? How you gonna know? Do you know what your child's favorite color is? Do you know? Do you ever sit down with your child, like really just talk, really just have a one-on-one? You know, that's how you find out the love language. That's how you find out the things that they like, dislike. I'm not saying the things that you implement in their life to make them like or dislike. I'm saying the things that they tell you they like and dislike. Now let's get back to the social media aspect of it. The social media aspect of it is this. When you're going into these rooms and everybody's doing their thing. Now, 9 times out of 10, your child is going to TikTok or IG or whatever it is, because they're going to learn the latest dances, whatever it is, the trends is going on, and the flyest things, whether it be ignorant, stupid, or whatever it might be, whatever it might be, they're going to pick up on that because they don't get to hear you. They don't get to talk to you. So the biggest influence to your kids is social media. And you don't even have a handle on it. You don't have a handle on it because you don't even know how to use their phone. You buying these expensive phones. I'm gonna get back to this social media thing now because I really ain't even hit you in the face with it yet. about the truth about that. But you don't even know how to use the phone. Back to that. And they hide them in these apps. And sometimes you have to have, come here, baby, how do you do this right here? Really? So now when not knocking any artists, not knocking any entertainers, you know what I'm saying? But now when you have entertainers, let's just say entertainers rapping or singing or whatever they're doing, these are influencers. So this is why when you think it's funny at a party when you see your daughter or your son and they say, get it, and they be doing all this right here and they know, and they 5 and 6, 7 years old, and you think it's cute and you think it's funny. But that's the mentality that they're gonna have when they grow up, because that's what you're allowing them to have. This is what you're saying. This is what you're saying, okay, this is what you're clapping for. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you putting some structure? But how can you put structure where you don't even know the drive to go? You don't know the road to go down, the path to go down, to even structure you're trying to structure off what you're actually trying to do is structure off social media. Let me tell you something. While your son or your daughter is in there, TikToking and all this good stuff, while they're TikToking, you're TikToking too. You out TikToking them while you're in the room, everybody in the room by themselves TikToking. But you never spend time. And then you wonder why they go astray. Because they seem like what I'm about to say right here. I know, like I said, I know it's going to touch some people and I really don't care. But I've seen some of the craziest things that get shared. Like, what are we looking at? What are we promoting? What are we pushing? What's the agenda? What do we want our youth to know? Like I said, I wasn't going to speak about this, but I am going to speak about it. It's a guy that's incarcerated, and he's doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? And I saw um an interview with him. He's still incarcerated. I saw an interview, and you might know him. I'm not gonna say no names and nothing like that, but you might know him. And he's just dancing around and doing this thing. I see he has all this attention, and so I see the interview, and the guy say, "Hey man, it's so crazy how you can find so much joy and so much happiness while being in a place like that. You can spread this same joy to other people that's incarcerated, or you can spread this same joy to people that's family that know they have family in there, whatever." So I'm like, spread the joy. Ain't no joy in there. Like, spread the joy to who? You glorifying prison. Like it's okay. Like, this is what our kids is looking at. This is what I'm getting at. This is what our kids are looking at. This is right here. Stuff like that. The guys, this is why I say that the phones, this is why I'm going to have an episode about this. Those phones are a gift and a curse. They are. And you trying to get you some money and this, that, and another, but you're glorifying it. Now you got these kids looking at this and everybody's thinking it's cool. Okay, well, if our kids are followers, then we all agree with our kids are actually followers. They're following any trend that goes through, and they see this movement that you got going on while you're in prison. What do you think our kids is going to think? That it's cool to do the dumbest, ignorant stuff out there because I can become famous while in prison. Not knowing there's so many other tangibles that man could be going through that he don't let the world know. He's masking a lot of that stuff. Like a lot of guys do. They mask this. Just like your child do. They mask a lot of things. And you don't even know what they're masking because They on social media telling the world what's wrong with them. That's where they at. They on here telling the whole world. So this is who's raising our youth. This is why we have to be very careful what we allow our youth to see. I don't care if it's auntie, uncle. I don't care who it is. It don't matter who it is. Because we'll tend to share certain things. And then when our kids start acting a certain type of way, we want to blame everybody else when it start right in the household. Right in the household. Know your kids. Talk to your kids. Take time out to sit down and have a dinner, and just like a dinner date, to actually invest in your child. I'm not talking about invest in it where you putting them. You got a big prom and the coronation. Hell, you try to have the biggest parade you can get in the city after they graduate from preschool, from kindergarten, you know, and it's all blowed up on IG and all these old platforms, and this how you get off. So the joy of any of that you're talking about, it ain't a joy for them. It's a more joy for you, but trying to keep up with the Joneses. But do you know about the real Joneses now? The Joneses now ain't really the Joneses. The Joneses ain't got shit. Stop trying to keep up with them and keep up with your kids. Because your kids gonna be the same one that shape tomorrow. The exact same ones that shape tomorrow. If you don't know what you're doing, because you might be hindering your kids' growth mentally, emotionally, because there's a lot of things they don't know. And there's a lot of things, this social media, and there's a lot of things that the people out in the streets are teaching our kids. And like I said earlier, I'm gonna keep it transparent. I'm sorry, Facebook, if you can't. I keep going in and out, but you can catch it on TikTok. But like I was saying, the kids, the kids that we have now, and how they're growing into this social media thing, and I'm big on this social media thing. It's gonna be hard for a single parent mom, because I told you earlier, I'm soft on single parent moms. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard for her to actually stay in tune. I know. We already gonna have everybody that's able and capable and have handled their business how they were supposed to do. I guess this is what the memo say of how you supposed to be a parent. So you got to make time out. Everybody's situation is not the same. Everybody's situation is not the same. So I know it's hard on single parent moms to try to, especially when they have more than one kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to try to dig into them and to understand, but you have to. You have to find time. And I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm gonna be just straight up. You know, some people accept it, some people won't accept it, but it's like this. The same way, and I'm talking to the women, the same way that you invest time in getting to know a man, the same way you invest time to sit down and be attentive to see what this man gonna do and what he need and what his love language is and all the things about this man that you're trying to find, you know, put that same energy into your kids. You know what I mean? Have a relationship with your kids. Because in actuality, I'm raising your kid, my sister, you raising somebody else's kid. So every time we push something out, every time we promote something, every time we share something, it's the same thing. So I shouldn't hear nothing from nobody about what Future is rapping about, and what all these rappers talking about, killing this, that, and other, and woo, and all this other stuff. When you don't invest time enough to try to find out how these phones work, to try to find out what your child is watching, to minimize all these TikTok dances. Yeah, it's cute sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times your child be on TikTok so long, at night, they can't really get up and function in the morning time because they TikToking and you think it's cute. You know what I'm saying? Especially they go viral, 'cause everybody trying to go viral. That's the thing, and the stupidest go viral, So you promote stupidness, then when you go out the door, that's what you're going to get. Stupid. What you expect to get. That's what you're sharing. That's what you're loving. That's what you're allowing your child to listen to look at without having no knowledge of nothing. Like I said before, ask yourself, look in the mirror, say, self, can I honestly say with nobody around, can't nobody judge you, can't nobody say nothing. You know your rights and wrongs. You know if you want to be take accountability or not. A lot of y'all don't like to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, that's a weakness to me. So you're gonna find every which way not to look in that mirror. But if you look in that mirror, you're gonna try to find a way to play victim. You might try to find a way to say something about the child's father. You might try to no, you got to take time out. You have to take time out and invest in your kids. Because like I said, if they think the wrong way and it's not like you think it is, when you get older, your kids might just be bitter towards you. And you'll never know why. Your actions or you not being as attentive as they need you to be could cause them to form a path that they have no idea what they're creating. A lot of y'all say that, okay, um, the kids, they're going down the wrong path or people going down the wrong path. I don't believe in path, going down the wrong path. That's not what I don't knock it, but that's not what I live on. I don't live by that. Um, I feel like every person creates their own path. It's like laying bricks as you walk, laying bricks as you walk. You creating your own legacy. You making your own bed. Like I said, you making your own bed. So all that plays a big part of it. Um, when I'm talking about relationships, with your kids, and then I'm talking about relationships that you share with a man, that I think that you should have that same energy to invest in your kids. Because like I said, they're going to be the one to shape tomorrow. They're going to be the same one that represents you. That is your seed. That is you walking. That is you coughing. That is you making ill decisions. That is you that is allowing that child to invest all the time that they can't get back watching stupidity. Time that you can't get back that you could have spent time with them instead of TikToking and getting on IG and gossiping about whatever was going on, this, that, and other. Sometimes, and I ain't got no disclaimer, this is mine. Anyway, sometimes you can just get that your child or something if you don't have time, if you just too tired. You know what I'm saying? Like to really just talk to them and let them come sleep in the bed with you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with loving. You know what I'm saying? Like, same way you can get on the phone and pillow talk, you can pillow talk with your child. You can see, what angles they're going. Like when you see them and they're doing something they don't usually do. When you catch it, that's when you know your child, when you're able to catch it. And you see them doing something or not doing something that they usually do. And you catch this, you like, hold on. You don't usually be doing that. What you got going on? Let me pay attention to you. That's when you know your child. That's when you know you're very attentive. You know what I mean? That's when you know. So that's why I think we need to find time and spend more time, because if we invest in our kids the way we try to invest in social media or going viral and invest in doing all the extra things that's not going to really have any substance to our kids. Once they leave that door, because once they leave that door, this cruel world. This a cruel world. This. And I was gone 31 years. I had just turned 20. and to do 31 and get out and witness the cruelness of this world. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But at the same time, it's a dog eat dog world. And you're gonna allow social media to prepare your child to hit that world like, come on, man, stop playing. I know y'all playing. I know something wrong. What happened? If you need to sit down and reset on Sunday, sit down and reset. You know, get some me time. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to go to all the little brunches on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? You know, looking all fly and looking good. You know, you ain't got to do that. Sometimes you just need to reset and think about some of the things that you need to do. You know, like just to better your environment. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The same way they'll follow the people on social media, they'll follow you. Well, you don't have to do a lot of talking. You ain't got to do a lot of talking. When you handle your business, when you actually handle your business, you don't have to do a lot of talking because they're gonna see it. They're gonna mark you. Oh, this what mama do. Oh, this what dad be doing. So you have to be real careful how you move. You have to be real careful how you dress if you got young ladies, because like I said earlier, and I don't care what people think. This is my podcast. Listen, it was a wrong move to have Megan up on that stage. I'm done with that. But are you gonna let those type of people, the music, not the people? I can't judge her personally. I'm saying the music, that type of entertainment. You're gonna let that type of entertainment influence your child? That's what you want? I mean, I thought, as adults and we had kids, whatever we went through. I mean, I thought that was a trend. Whatever we went through, we try to make sure we minimize those same issues and same problems with our kids. So we do everything possible to try to minimize the stupidity of things they might do, like stick their hand in the fire, because we already stuck our hand in the fire, like I have. And that's what I'm doing, because I don't want you to stick your hand in the fire. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying when I'm talking about these kids, because I was one of those hurt kids before. I was one of them before. So I know how it feels. And I'm not saying that, we have bad parenting or nothing like that. But sometimes you got to know your kids' love language. Sometimes you got to be attentive to be able to see them and look in their face, or feel their vibe, to know, hey, look, something ain't right. How many times can you say that you can look at your child and say, something ain't right? The only time the majority you can say something ain't right is because when they ain't in the room on that game or on social media, on the phone or whatever, and they out there in the living room or something, playing around or walking around or something. You say, hey man, something ain't right. What ain't right, mama? What ain't right, dad? You came out the room and y'all just kiki ah. Okay. Send them out there like that. Send them out there like that. And then, when they get caught up in all this extra stuff, like, a lot of people don't get caught up on the end where um they do 31 years when they just turn 20 and do 31 years. A lot of people don't get that chance. And I thank God, regardless of my situation or whatever happened in my situation, that caused me to have to do this. I thank God to be able to have an opportunity. I have some remorse for what I did, and I don't condone violence, what I'm saying, by any chance. But I'm saying is, I thank God for giving me another opportunity to redeem myself. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you what's real. That prison life, that ain't real. That ain't real. But before we can talk about that, how we gonna talk about prison? How we gonna talk about my journey? How we gonna talk about all this if I don't give you what need to be before we get to a prison? How we need to think, how we need to, because we trying to find solutions. I hear all these things about the programs. I hear all these people crying, don't, and then at the end, when you let these other people control your kids' minds and this, that, and other, and then your kids go out into this world not prepared. going out to this world at 13, 14 years old because they think they got it all figured out. Why do you think they got it all figured out? 2 plus 2 is 4. You ain't got to carry the one or nothing. You know, because they watching this, because they watching all the extra stuff. So they think this is how life works. They think this is life is full of pranks and full of laughs, and I can go viral and all that until they step out. And the first thing you want to say is that ain't my boy or that ain't my girl. How you know that that might be a part of their character? That's just a character that you didn't see because you was in that TikToking and shit. Because you was on IG. Because you was on the phone caking probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you didn't take no time out to see. Like I said, Facebook, once again, if you miss it, you can catch it on TikTok, Eat a Gentleman. You can catch this whole thing on TikTok. But back over here. Um, like I was saying, I'm not on here trying to say, people are bad parenting or nothing like that. No, I'm not throwing those shots. I don't know anything about who, what, when, what you got going on in your house, but I know what the hell going on outside the house, and there's too much ignorant stuff going on outside, senseless stuff going on outside, and the things that's going on outside are very similar to the things I see on social media, because everything that's on social media is going on outside, and they're gonna post it because everybody want to film, everybody want to go viral. So if your child following this and they see somebody going viral, why wouldn't they follow their trends? They follow all the dances. Hell, you do too. You do too. Now it's finna be it's about to be a touchy semi subject, not really a subject where we're touching on the same subject topic that I started off with. Do you know your kids? It's gonna be hard, like I said, for a single parent, whether it's a single parent mom, whether it's a single parent dad, whether it's whomever. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. But the thing about it is, it's fucking hard to have a home when you don't have a male figure in that home to make that house a home. When you don't have that male figure in that home to try to take the masculine part up out the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know when a man is in the house, when a man is in the house, he don't have to say nothing. He don't have to say nothing. His presence by itself is gonna be said, hey, do what your mama said, or shut the or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't have to be said. What I mean by that, this gives the mom a chance to actually be a mom and not have to be a father too, and not have to have so much stress on her as being a mom. So this when she can be the nurturer. This when she can talk more. This when she can understand more. This is when she could be more loving. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got a single parent mom, when you got a mom, that mom has to put a aura, armor, a shield, everything on, especially if she has a son, because she don't want to impose so much of her feminine, on him. She don't want to do too much of that. You know what I'm saying? Where he'll be soft and all that. No, she don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So what she got to do? She have to muster up what she feel, or muster up the masculinity that she has, or what she's seen, or what she's heard about, to try to be a father and continue to be a mother. But then again, when trying to be a father and you're a female trying to be a father and you trying to have those masculine traits, you start to say things that you really don't mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to go in a direction that is hurtful. You'll start to say things and do things that's hurtful, that's not really in your nature, other than if it's trying to protect your child. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get your child to understand you need them to do exactly what you need them to do because you said do it. But for you to get it across, you have to get it across in an aggressive manner. But when a man is there, he don't have to really say nothing. He speaks for himself. Whatever she said, you need to get on that ASAP like yesterday. Get on that. And he ain't even said that. He just know to do it. The child just know to do it. That's when mama can handle her business. That's when mama can handle her business. That's another solution why I feel like we need to make popular. So it don't get to where we need to, the testimonies of the prison life. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to save a lot of our kids. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're going to have to do it, the only way we're going to be able to do it is to be able to connect with them. We can't impose. I'm going to say this again. I say this a lot, and I mean this. We cannot impose the things that we grew up in, the times that we grew up in, trying to tell them what to do and what not to do. Because when I was doing it, it was like this and this right here worked. Them ain't the same times. These are not the same times. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to be a little clever when it comes to trying to reaching your child. You're going to have to be real clever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to remix it. You're going to have to mix the soft era that we call a soft era now with our so-called hard era. You're going to have to mix this. It's going to have to be a medium. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to dumb down because these kids are not dumb. I don't know why we keep, I say we because I'm an adult and I'm 50 some years old. So I'm in the same category. I don't know why we keep insisting saying that these kids are ignorant or they dumb. No, these kids are smart. These kids are smart and we don't give them enough credit. We always down them and push them in a direction that we don't really want them to be, because when we push them in a direction, always bringing that negativity and always bringing that, that hardship to them. What's that dude name is? The rapper. Always saying, well, y'all know what I'm talking about, always saying those sad songs and struggling songs. And, you got people, man, you got these kids go to Rod Wave. You got these kids listening to that sad for no reason. For no reason, just sad. Listen, just sad. Just start crying. You be wondering, wait, you didn't hear what he said? Who? Rod Wave, man, stop. You got so much to be happy for. So much to be happy for. This is what you need to be focused on as kids. Being kids. Being kids. This is what we need to focus on. Stay up out of kid type situations. Stop creating kid type situations for yourself. Meaning, stop taking these kids playground games, making them adult games. Now they don't have anything to play with but these computers, because y'all done took the kickball games and made it something. You done took the dodgeball games, then made it something. They can't even break dance in peace because now it's on the Olympics. So everything they do, you want to bet on it. Or if it ain't going accordingly to how you want it to go, then you're going to show out. They got to kick you out the stadium, or you're going and you're picking guys from way over here and way over there to try to beat these folks, and you're paying these kids. You're not even allowing them to be kids because you're taking all the games. All the kid games, you taking it, and you taking it, and you making it personal. So yeah, they gonna stay up in these rooms all day, like I said earlier. And I want you to know, and I want you to stick to the script and just really understand. Look in your house. What are your kids at when you bring them in the house? They're in the room. They're in the room. They on TikTok. They on all this other stuff. That's who raising your kids. Let them watch me. I'm gonna tell them how not to go where I went. So that's what I'm gonna always tell you. I'm gonna always say it'll always be my motto because I am the Bridge Podcast. I am the bridge. I am bringing awareness. This is the truth. I'm the bridge from the guys that's in the prison, from the families out here. I don't just talk about prison. I don't just talk about the kids. I talk about everything. I talk about everything. Everything that can help us to evolve as a culture, to help us save our kids. That's what I want to talk about. I will never sit on here and glorify prison. Ever sit on here and glorify prison. And I'm one of the ones that can sit in there and I'm gonna give it to you real because if I'm ever having a show, an episode or whatever, and you hear me talking about some of the things, if I have a guest on and I'm talking about some of the things that was going on in there, and it might seem like, okay, I might have been glorifying it or I might have been saying, okay, well, yeah, he was no. Just be patient because I am long-winded at times and I do get into details, but on the back end of it, I'm gonna tell you how it affected me, how it wasn't me glorifying where I was. I would never glorify prison. I would never tell you that you can find joy in that. I would tell you if you was there, don't allow the prison to allow you to lose happiness or how to reach happiness or how to feel happiness. I would tell you that. But what I'm telling you right now, that's a whole nother subject. What I'm telling you right now is don't impede and step on your kids' happiness. Let them be happy. Know your kids. Know what makes them happy. Don't impose them something you feel like they're supposed to be happy. And you teach them to be happy about this. Find out what on their own. Find out what you're working with. Because if you talk to your kids enough, you'll understand their thought process. Then you'll know how you need to direct them in certain ways. Don't take their identity away. But let me just tell you something. I'm going to tell you again. And as adults, I already know you know. But if you do tell them some things, make sure you move more than what you tell them. Make sure you move a certain type of way because you never know when they're looking. You know what I'm saying? You have to even make sure that you know what you're wearing. You got to know what you're saying. I know what you're saying is you don't want to walk around on eggshells because you have a child. This is your life, and you still, hey man, listen, I didn't do it. You did it. The same way I tell you about making up the bed and you're gonna have to sleep in it. It's the same thing I'm saying now. This is the bed that you make. However that you make this bed up is how you go out to sleep in it. Sometimes it's not detrimental. Sometimes it's about perception of how you view things. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can make the best of it. But if you made it up when you have kids, don't look at it as me, I got to stop my life. You don't have, I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you to stop living. But what I'm telling you is don't forget that when you get older and as you get older and when you do leave, because there's a date on that, if your child can outlive you, that's you. How your child move, that's you. Because this is what you instilled in them. It wasn't what social media instilled in them. It wasn't what I instilled in them. It was what you instilled in your child. And let's say you instill something in your child that you think that could be positive for the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you prepare, you have kids, you preparing them. You ain't just on some honey child type shit. You know what I'm saying? You preparing them for the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go fly, go somewhere, go do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever you prepare them, you keep like tools, like tools. Like you get them tools and you put your tools in and you give and if some of the tools that you might not know and you might not be aware of, you might not put in there and they might have to use that tool and might not know about it. But this is where it comes in when you dig deep, when you talking and knowing your child, because some of the tools that you don't know, you'll know how to allow them to improvise. You've been teach them how to improvise when you don't have certain things, when you don't know certain things. You'll teach them how to move in certain situations where it's hesitant. You'll teach them first of all how to think, how to think. That's what you teach them. But first, know how they think. Don't try to teach them. Don't try to push it in them and pour it in and they can't breathe no more because you just stuffing this shit down and they've been through all of it up. And then you're like, nah, my baby. Yeah, your baby. Your baby, because you were too overbearing. You just tried to force it down the throat. Nah, you can't force it down these folks' throat because it ain't funny. They like stupid shit. It ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to give them life, so you got to finesse it. So how you finesse it is you make it look good because you do it. You talk about it when you know they're around and you ain't got to talk about it to them. You can fake talking like you're on the phone, or you could be talking to somebody else about some of the things that you want them to learn or the direction that you would like them to go, but you can just speak on something similar to it. So what they hear and what they see is what they're gonna follow. So however that you choose to move, make sure it's precise and calculated because your movement can dictate your child's movement. And if your child moves movement, now I'm not saying when I say this, I'm not saying 9 times out of 10 or 80% of whatever you teach your child is gonna cause them to act a certain type of way and because at the end of the day, your child is gonna act how they gonna want to act regardless. I don't give a damn if you whoop them. I don't give a damn if you don't whoop them. They gonna act how they gonna want to act. Cause how many of them got whooped? How many of us got whooped and still been in some unfortunate situations? So it ain't just guaranteed whooping's gonna straighten you up. Like it ain't guaranteed the love's gonna straighten you up. But what I can say about that is this, and I'm gonna end this segment. When you whooping a child, if you think about it, are you really hurting when you whooping them, or are you taking out anger from what they didn't do and what happened on the job, or you weren't able to pay the bills and all that kind of stuff when you whooping them? Do you really think about that? Like when you do that, I think I think if we really thought about it, that we'll kind of think a little bit more, have a little bit more compassion because our 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year old, whatever, they ain't never been whatever our age is. I'm 52, you know. They ain't never been 52. But I have been 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 before. So whatever they think they getting away with in the house, if you be attentive and see what it is, it's so basic. It's so obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's there for the picking. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of see how they move, if they move reckless or how they move like, hey man, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you really gonna do that right there, at least be creative with your mindset of how you gonna do it. Just don't play on my intelligence and do it in my face and tell me, hey man, that ain't no water, and I'm looking at water on the floor. You trying to tell me something else? No, like kind of have a game plan or something. And because you're gonna have to have a game plan, however I'm not condoning them lying. I hate lying and stealing. I don't like that lying and stealing. That's a pet peeve. I hate that with a passion. But Man, you got to figure this life out, man. You know, it's a lot of grown-ups that ain't figured this life out yet. And we in some dangerous times right now. Because a lot of our youth think they didn't figure it out because they've been watching this right here. And what they've been seeing is these guys is going to court, getting out. They seeing these movies. They hearing about how people's head was getting rich, doing the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? And now they out. They ain't thinking about, okay, I wasn't even born when they was locked up. I just see now they was out and they was doing all this. You know, they famous. Everybody want to be famous. That's the thing. This reality show shit that just started where everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to be somebody. You know, I mean, look at Tubi. You have Tubi. Hey, shout out to Tubi and the actors. Anyway, um, yeah, um, we're in some dangerous times because they feel these you feel like they already got it figured out. They already know what they gonna do, and they don't care how they do it. They gonna get a bag. They don't care. They gonna spin the block. They gonna get these, but they don't care. They don't care because they looking at their partners up in them phones and getting a little money and they TikToking and they going viral doing stupid stuff and look and this, that, and other. Hey man, listen, be real careful how you allow your kids to talk to family members or whomever in prison on these phones. That's another episode because I'm gonna talk to the guys that has these phones talking to these kids. Beware and careful how you talk and what you do because you can mislead these kids, man. But they'll think it's all grave, like it's just sweet up in there, and they don't even know they can lose their life over a flip phone. It's just that easy. But hey, you know how I get, man. This is another episode of the Bridge Podcast. You already know what we got going on over here. You already know what I got going over there. We redirecting ignorance with positive awareness. This is what we're doing on every level. On every level. Anything and everything I say, you don't have to believe everything, but I will say this. I would never leave you astray. I would never push no bull BS on you. I would never come sideways with information that I think would hinder your life or might gain me some prestige, but it's the wrong thing. I'm not coming like that. I'm coming raw, authentic, and you're gonna get the real thing. It's my opinion, it's my show, and I'm gonna give you what it is, the bridge. And I promise you, what I give you, you're gonna love it because we're gonna have a good time over here. I promise you that. And we're gonna grow together because it's not just my journey, it's our journey together. So stay tuned, subscribe, to all platforms, Eat It Gentlemen, the Bridge Podcast. Like I always say, it's my motto. I came up with it. Take my word and not my